Hello everybody, it's Hannah and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we are going to be doing a full collection makeup declutter video. If you guys missed it, I just recently posted an eyeshadow palette declutter video, so my eyeshadow palettes won't be in this video, but everything else will be. So let me go ahead and grab my primers so we can get started. Alright, so these are all of my primers that I have, and to be honest, I kind of love all of these. I do have a couple that I think I'm going to get rid of, but really quickly I'll just go through all of them. So I have this one here from Good Molecules. This is the silicone-free priming moisturizer. I really love this stuff. I use it as a primer and a moisturizer. It's super hydrating, so I really love it. I've gone through a mini size of this and I just recently repurchased it in the full size because I felt like I could not live without it. So this one I am definitely going to be keeping. Another new one that I just picked up here is this one from First Aid Beauty. This is the Ultra Repair Hyaluronic Hydrating Primer. I've only used this about once or twice, and I would definitely like to try and use it a little bit more, so of course I'm going to be keeping that one. These two actually are pretty similar, so I'll do them kind of at the same time. But I have my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter in the shade number 2, which I really love. This one has a little bit of almost sort of coverage to it, but it makes your skin look super smooth and glowy and hydrated. So I definitely want to keep that one. And then I recently have been trying out this one here from Maybelline, which is supposed to be kind of similar like this one and the e.l.f. Halo Glow. Supposed to be dupes for the Charlotte Tilbury one. But I have this one here in the shade 00 Fair Light. And I feel like it's actually almost a little bit dark for me. I don't know if you'll be able to tell. Once it's blended out, it's not too bad, but it definitely does have a little bit of like a darker tint than what I would normally go for something like this. So I do have to kind of still work on using this one up a little bit more, but since it's pretty new, I do want to go ahead and keep it. And over here I have some of my favorite ones actually. This is the Urban Decay All Nighter Ultra Glow Face Primer. I love this. It's like that sort of clear gel one where it's a little bit sticky and it just makes my skin feel really good. It makes my makeup last all day. So I definitely want to keep that one. This one from Stila is the One Step Correct. I think this is my third bottle of this. This stuff is so good. It comes out sort of like multicolored, but then when you blend it in, it just gives your skin kind of like a nice tint. It's supposed to be like anti-redness, and I find that it's really hydrating and just makes my skin look really nice and smooth. I don't know if you'll be able to see that here, like kind of on the back of my hand, but I love this and I am definitely going to go ahead and keep it. Then this NYX Plump Right Back one is I think one of my only drugstore ones aside from, I guess the Good Molecules is pretty affordable, and then the Maybelline one. But this one's really good. You can see I've gotten quite a bit of use out of it. It's very similar actually to the Urban Decay All Nighter Ultra Glow. I think it's really good. Again, it's that sort of gel type of one. It has electrolytes in it, and I find that it's just really nice on my skin and makes it look super good. So again, I'm going to be keeping that one. Then I have this one here from LYS. This is the Secure Skin Gripping Serum Primer. This definitely is a pretty runny primer. Once it dries down, it's very tacky, but even just like tipping the bottle over, it does kind of spill out. So you can see it's very watery, but it does have such a good sort of feel to it, and it does look very nice on the skin. And again, this one is kind of new. I had not really purchased primers all that much, and then recently I've just been kind of interested in them because my skin's really dry lately, and I just want to try and find stuff that makes my makeup look good. So I have all of these I'm going to keep, but I do have 3 over here actually on the end that I think I may declutter. I have this little one from Bobbi Brown. This is the Vitamin Enriched Face Base, and I do like this one. It's just I have so many other primers that I would like to try out and that I know I love. This one is a little bit heavy on my skin. I did get a bit of use out of it, but I feel like at this point I can just go ahead and declutter this. Then I have this one here from Seraphine Botanicals. This is the Meadow Rose and Strobe Luminizing Rose Gold Primer. I'm not a huge fan of these like strobing type of primers. As glowy as I'll go is kind of like the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, but anything more than that, I just find that it's not really good for me. I actually haven't even used this one up, so I'm just going to go ahead and declutter it. Then I have this one here from Rare Beauty. This is the Always an Optimist Illuminating Primer, and this one I believe does have that kind of shimmer to it that I just don't think I'm gonna love. I've been really liking Rare Beauty lately, but yeah, I mean, this is almost like a liquid highlighter. It's very pretty, but it's just not something I see myself using, so I am going to go ahead and declutter this one as well. So I did go ahead and just zoom out a little bit. I feel like it was kind of a little bit too close, but well, I figured we'll move on to setting sprays next, even though it's not really like the next step in my routine, but I only have 4 of them and I'm not going to get rid of any, so I just figured I'll really quickly go through them. I have this little mini Fenty Beauty one that I'm going to keep. I really like that one. The Anastasia Beverly Hills Dewy Setting Spray. This is so good. Super glowy. This is actually my second bottle of it, but I think it's really good. Then I have this one here for MAC. This is the Fix Plus Prep and Prime. You can use it as a primer or a setting spray, but I like to use it for like, you know, multi-purpose. So I am going to keep this one. And then this one is actually one of my favorite setting sprays, and it's almost empty. This is the It Cosmetics Your Skin But Better setting spray. I find that this is really good. It's sort of like a mixture of like the Anastasia one and like the Urban Decay setting spray. I find that it's like super long lasting, but it also kind of blends all like the powders and my makeup together and just makes it look really nice. So I do really enjoy this one. So yep, I'm going to be keeping all 4 of them and decluttering 0. All right, now on to foundations. As you can see, I don't have very many foundations at all. I don't wear actual foundation too often. You'll see like I have a lot more concealers than I do foundation, just because it's typically what I'll use kind of all over instead of something like this. But regardless, I do still have a couple, and we can go ahead and go through them. I have this one here from Fenty. This is the Ease Drops in the shade 3. This one I've had for a little while. It says that it expires in 12 months, which I don't know if I've had it exactly for a year yet, but I am going to keep it for now. I find that this looks really nicely and does wear pretty well, but by the end of the day, sometimes if I'm wearing it for like an extended period of time, I find that it does kind of break up a little bit. So not my exact favorite, but I do like the lightweightness of it and the coverage, so I'm going to be keeping that one. Then I have this one here from SheGlam, which is like my super full coverage product. This is their Skinfluencer Full Coverage Foundation Balm, and I have the shade Shell. And it's kind of like this one where it's in like a putty, and you really only need a very small amount of this. The shade match of this is like perfect for me, so I love using this one. And all you do is just take a little bit on your finger, and I just kind of like blend it in with my hands, and I find that that's the best way to work with this. It's also good for spot concealing blemishes because it is so high coverage, so I am going to keep that one. Then I have this one here from Misha. This is the Perfect Cover BB Cream, and I have the shade for 23 Natural Beige. This one has SPF in it, which I love. This one, the color looks a little bit crazy. If you guys have watched my Yes Style video where I tried this out, you know, I was like, what the heck is with this color? But when you blend it in, it's actually just a really nice kind of neutral color, and it works really well on my skin. So I'm definitely going to be keeping this one. It also has been wearing really nicely, even though my skin has been super dry and just like patchy and awful. This has been the only thing that actually looks good on my skin, and of course it's new and I really like it, so definitely going to be keeping that one. Then I have 2 stick foundations over here. I have one from Merit, which is their Perfecting Complexion stick, and I have this one in the shade Silk. It looks like I need to buy a new one because mine has come out of the tube. I've used so much of this and I've been traveling with it, so it probably broke in my makeup bag. So I do really like this, and I do actually work with Merit long term. If you guys want to purchase anything from them, I do have an affiliate link with them down below if you were interested. But since I've had this one for quite a while and it broke, I actually think they changed the packaging of this one where you now get more product in it and it's a little bit different, so it doesn't break as easily. So I am going to just go ahead and declutter that one as well. Then my other one that I have here is from Primark. This is the PS My Perfect Color Foundation and Contour Stick, and I have mine in the shade Porcelain. It says that this is good for 18 months, and I don't think I've had it for 18 months. Like, that's actually a pretty long time, and I love how this looks, so you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and keep it for a little bit longer as well. Then I have this from Glossier. This is the Perfecting Skin Tint, and I have the shade G11. It's not like my everyday, like I don't typically go for it. It is like super light coverage. You can see over here, it's just almost kind of like watery like nothing. So I don't know, I got these for free. I bought the concealer new off of Poshmark a couple of months ago, and the seller threw this in, which I thought was really nice because this is like a full size of the Perfecting Skin Tint, but I feel like I don't really need it because it's just not like, it doesn't do enough. And I'm gonna go super light coverage. I'm just not even gonna wear foundation, so I feel like this doesn't really have a place in my collection, so I think I am actually going to go ahead and declutter this. Then lastly, I have this here from Tower 28. This is the Sunny Days Broad Spectrum SPF 30 Tinted Sunscreen. I used this one a couple times over the summer. I have the shade Larchmont, and it was pretty good. I do want to get a little bit more use out of it. Now that I only have 5 foundations, I feel like I'll definitely be able to go ahead and do that. So that was it for my foundations. Let's go ahead and move on to concealer. So not sure when I acquired all of these concealers, but I have quite a lot, so we can definitely go ahead and pick out some to declutter. So first thing I'm going to start off with is this one here from NARS. This is the Soft Matte Complete Concealer in the shade Light 1.25 Affogato. This one I don't love on the under eyes. I find that it's a little bit too drying on me, but I do think that it's really good for spot concealing. Definitely do reach for it for that purpose, so I will go ahead and keep this one. Then I have 2 concealers here from Glossier. I have one in the shade G10 and then one in G11. So G10 I believe is the darker one. It's like darker and maybe a little bit more pink. And then I have G11, which is like my perfect shade match. And you can see there's quite a difference between them. I used to use G10 when I would wear fake tan, but I don't really wear it anymore. So I think what I'm going to do is just go ahead, declutter G10, and then keep G11, which is my actual shade. Then another potted concealer while we're at it is this one here from REM Beauty. This is in 6N, and it is a little bit light for me and a little bit drying, I feel like. But I do think it's really nice for brightening on the under eye. So, and it's also pretty new to me. So I am going to go ahead and keep that one. Before we continue, I also have this here from Cicapair. This is the Derma Green Solution, the Tiger Grass color correcting treatment. And this one is almost sort of like a color corrector. So what it is it looks green in the pot. And then once you blend it out, it kind of like adjusts, I guess, to your skin tone, or like the pigment just kind of blends into a more kind of like beige color. So it does have a tint to it. It's not necessarily a foundation or a concealer. It's more of a color corrector, but I don't really have anywhere else to kind of put this, but regardless, I am going to be keeping it. Then here I have some newer concealers. Actually, these three are probably like the newest ones to my collection. So I have this one here from the Sayum. This is the Cover Perfection Tip Concealer, and this one I also hauled recently in my testing Makeup from Yes style. This one's really good. It blends super nicely and it does not crease on my under eye, so I want to definitely keep that one. Then I have this one here from Pat McGrath. This is in the shade L3. It's their Skin Fetish Sublime Concealer. It's a little bit yellow on me, but it does work when I use it on my face. I feel like it works a little bit better. So I don't love it for my under eyes, but on my face or kind of like all over as a foundation, I find that it does work a little bit better. So not my absolute favorite, to be honest, but since it's new, I am going to hold on to it. Then I also have this one here from Charlotte Tilbury. This one is in the shade 4.5 Fair, and this one actually is a pretty good color match for me for my under eyes. I find that it's nice and brightening. It's a little bit kind of heavy, I guess, on the under eye. I prefer one kind of like the Glossier, where it's more of like a thin consistency, or the one from the Sayum. I find that they're just a little bit more creamy, whereas this one is kind of a bit thicker and more full coverage. So I don't absolutely love it for the under eye, but I feel like maybe if I use it with a different powder, it might work out better. But again, that one is very new. I just got it for my birthday in November, so I am going to be keeping that one. Then I have two little minis here that I got from my Ipsy. I have this one here from Tarte. This is the Ultra Creamy Shape Tape Concealer in the shade 20S Light Sand. This one I actually really like, and I definitely want to keep it. Again, super brightening for the under eye, so I really like that, and definitely going to hold on to that one. And then I have this one here from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is in the shade 3. It's their Magic Touch. I tried my best to really like this one, but it's very thick. I don't know if you can see it coming out. I don't know if you'll be able to tell like coming out of here, but it's just kind of a like thick, almost kind of moussey concealer, and I don't know, the shade is pretty good, but it's just not my favorite formula, and it didn't really wear well on my under eyes, so I am going to declutter this. Here from Sephora, this is the Best Skin Ever Full Coverage Multi-Use Concealer, and I have the shade 04N. This one is actually fairly light on me. You're gonna see it is like very light. I wish I had picked this up in a little bit of a darker color, but I find that it's not too bad on my under eyes, especially if I'm doing like bronzer, blush. I feel like I can make it work. So I am going to hold on to it, even though it's like, this looks super white on here, but I swear it works, and I really like how it wears, even though it's a full coverage concealer. So definitely gonna hold on to that one. Then I have this one here from Benefit. This is the Boing Cakeless Concealer. This has been my favorite concealer now for quite a while. I have the shade number 1, and I find that this just works on me. Why does everything look so white on camera? I feel like that's kind of crazy, but I swear that these all I swear that these all work for me, even though they look like crazy colors. But I really like this one, especially in the wintertime when I'm more pale. This one definitely gets a little bit too light for me if I am a little bit more tan, but again, right on my under eye, I feel like it's not bad, and I love how this is, and I love how this looks. It's definitely a cakeless concealer. It does not crease, and I think that it looks really good on my under eye, so definitely gonna hold on to that one. Then I have this one here from Rose Inc. This is in the shade LX030, and I really like this one. It's super full coverage, and the shade is actually pretty good for me as well. As you can see, it's a little bit darker than these ones over here, but still not too dark. Like you can see the Pat McGrath one is just super yellow compared to some of these other ones, and this is another very full coverage one that I actually do like to use sort of as a foundation as well. So I'm going to keep this one. Guys, I really like all my concealers, except for these two. I'm still figuring out if I like them, but all these other ones that I kept, I do really like. Then I have this one here from Yenza. This is the Super Serum Silk Concealer in the shade, I think like light or something like that. Yeah, in the shade Light 1, and I just got this in an Ipsy, but I don't know how I feel about this one. I haven't really used it. I just don't love the applicator, like the fact that it's like a little squeezy type of one, so I do think I'm just going to go ahead and declutter this. All right, so next up here we have some powders. So I have two of them, which are the same actually. This is my one that is almost done from Maybelline. This is like my favorite loose powder ever. This is the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder. I have the shade number 05 Fair. Definitely going to keep it. This one is pretty much done. And then I do have a backup of it as well that I'm going to hold on to. Then I also have this one here from Bare Minerals. This is actually a powder concealer. It's in the shade Well Rested. I like to use this on super stubborn breakouts, which I'm definitely going to keep it just for that purpose. So I'm going to hold on to that one. Then I have this one here from Ciate. This is the Extraordinary Translucent Powder. It's still sealed and I don't really need more powder, so I'm just going to go ahead and declutter that. Then I have this one from Lawless. This is their loose setting powder in the classic translucent shade. This is a little mini one. I'm also going to just go ahead and keep this one as well. And I almost forgot, I also have this one here from Pat McGrath. This is like a little pressed one in the shade Light, I believe. And it's just this translucent powder that looks really, really good on the under eyes. I actually need to break this out. Maybe in my next Shop My Stash, I'll use this one. But yeah, that is all my powders. So just decluttering one, but I don't really have very many to begin with. So let's go ahead and move on to bronzers. I also have this powder here that I missed from Bella Pierre. It's their pressed banana powder in Light. I did like this, but it's just, I wouldn't really go for it over my Pat McGrath one, so I'm also going to declutter this one as well. Alright, so here we have all of my bronzers, and I don't know what happened. This has gotten way out of hand. We definitely need to get rid of some, but I guess first we'll start off with ones that I know are going to be keeps, which are some of my newer ones. So first one I will start off with is this one here from Tarte. This is their Park Avenue Princess Amazonian Clay Waterproof Bronzer, and I have just been absolutely loving this one. I think it's so good. I think that the glow to it looks really, really nice on my skin, and you know what? I'll go ahead and do swatches of these just so you can kind of see them, but I definitely want to keep this one. I think that it just looks really, really nice. Then we'll do this little palette here I know I'm going to keep is from Alamar. This is the Hydrating Complexion Trio. I have like the light version of it. I don't know actually if they sell this anymore, but I love the pressed powder in here, and it has these two bronzers in here that I also really, really like, so I'm going to keep it for that reason as well. And one that has been my absolute favorite lately is this one here from Too Faced, and I mean, just look at the packaging. Like, how cute is this? This is their Chocolate Soleil Natural Chocolate in the shade Golden Cocoa. I believe they came out with two shades in this collection, but it's just a really pretty sort of glowy, again, like that sort of satiny finish is my favorite for bronzer, and I find that the shade just works really well on me. It's a super nice neutral bronzer. I find that it's not too orangey, not too cool, and it just works, and I love that it's super buildable, and again, the packaging is absolutely gorgeous, so definitely going to hold on to this one. Then another one I feel like of course I need to keep is my Dior one. This is the Dior Forever Natural Bronze in the shade 05 Warm Bronze. This one, although it is a matte bronzer, I find that it's just super good. Again, love the color of this, actually very similar to like the original Hoola. I think I did declutter my Hoola a little while back just because I thought that it was so similar to the Dior one, and I was always going to keep this one over that one. And even though it's matte, it's not completely like a flat matte. So again, really love this one as well. Then I guess since I have quite a bit of creams, we'll just go ahead and finish up with the powders. So I have this one from Physicians Formula. This is the Butter Bronzer, and it's just like the original bronzer shade. This is a tiny mini one, and I think it's so cute. The formula of this one is really nice. This one has probably the most glow. You can see it has a nice kind of radiant finish there, and I definitely want to keep this one. You can see I even hit pan in it. Then another one of my favorite ever, I've actually used up a full size of this, is here from Becca. This is in Capri Coast. My manager at work, actually, we were talking about it, and she's like, I think I have a mini one when we were talking about like our favorite bronzers. So she went and brought this for me, which I thought was so nice. But I love this one. Again, it has a little bit of that glowy satiny finish to it, and I mean, it was so sweet that she got this for me, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep that. Then this is another favorite of my bronzers. I really love all of my powder ones, to be honest. I think that they're all really good. This one is in the shade Vallarta, and you can see I have used this a ton. Again, really good. This is probably the most creamy bronzer out of all of them. The color just works. You can see it's really nice and pigmented, but still super soft. I absolutely love this one, and 100% am going to be keeping it. Right, and then last powder one we have here is from Mented, and this is in the shade Beach Bum. This one I didn't get that long ago. You can see once I swatch it, it's actually pretty warm, and once I blend it out, it does not look crazy warm, but I feel like I just have other ones like these over here that I just have been loving so much more that I don't think I'm going to reach for soon, especially with it, you know, going into winter time. I think that I've been loving these sort of more neutral, cool toned type of bronzers, so I do think unfortunately I am going to go ahead and declutter this one. I do love it, but at this point I just don't really need it. So yeah, going to get rid of this one. All right, so moving on to my cream bronzers over here. I guess we'll kind of start off with maybe these two Merit ones here because I know I'm going to get rid of one of them. I have one in the shade Quince and then one in the shade Clay. I know Clay is my shade that I always use and it works really well on me. I love the formula of these Merit sticks. I think that they're super good and really lightweight. But I think Quince was too light. Yeah, I think it's pretty light on me. Like I would always reach for Clay over Quince, so I am just going to go ahead and declutter this one. And before Merit actually even had contour sticks like this, I actually picked up one of their Perfecting Complexion sticks in the shade Amber, and I would use this one to kind of do as like a cream contour. But since now they have like actual bronzing sticks, I'm just going to get rid of this one. Then I have a couple of other little ones here. I have this one from Charlotte Tilbury. This is their contour wand in Fair Medium. You can see I have used a ton of this. I really need to like finish up using this one, but this is like a really nice kind of deep cool brown, and it works really well for like actual contouring rather than bronzing, and definitely going to hold on to this one. It's actually really hard to get the first time that I ended up purchasing it, so definitely not getting rid of it. Then I have this one here from Milk Makeup. This is the matte bronzer in the shade Baked. I just got this in Ipsy. I actually used to have the full size of this one, but I didn't love how it wore. I find that it went a little bit patchy on me, so I am going to go ahead and declutter that. And I have my favorite, as you guys know if you have watched my channel for a while, this is Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer in light medium. It's just so good. I love it. Let me see if I could pick up a little bit. It's just really smooth on my skin and I love using it. It gives a little bit of glow. It just makes it look amazing. You can use it with makeup, without makeup. I use it every which way, and I would definitely recommend if you pick up anything from this video, it would definitely be this. And I have this one here from Tower 28. This is the Bronzino bronzer in the shade West Coast. This one was sent to me, so I didn't pick up this one on my own. It is really glittery though. I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but it has a super strong, almost metallic kind of shimmer to it, so I don't love that, to be honest, and I'm just going to go ahead and declutter it. Then I have this one here from Glossier. This is in the shade Ray. It's one of their Solar Paint Luminous bronzer, and I actually saw this at TJ Maxx for literally like $6, so I was like, you know what, I'll check this one out and see how it is. I have never used this on my face. I'm waiting to film a video to try it out for the first time. It's almost kind of liquidy, and it does definitely have a glow to it, but it's not as like metallic as this one, so I actually really like that one, and definitely going to keep this one since I obviously never used it. And then finally we have this one here from She Glam. This is the Sun Sculpt Liquid Contour. This is in the shade Golden Sun. This one is also really good. The color of it is really nice. This is like my ideal kind of contour bronzer shade. Not too warm, not too cool, very similar to the Makeup by Mario one. Not in formula or texture, but in color, and I really like that, so definitely going to hold on to this one. Right, and that is it for bronzers. Let me go ahead and grab out all my blushes. Right, so we have here all of my blushes. I don't know what happened, how I got this many blushes, but let's go ahead and go through them. So maybe we will start out with cream blushes, just because I feel like I'm a little bit more picky with those. So let me just separate these out and then we can get started. I've got my cream blushes over here, and my tastes have kind of changed a little bit for blushes and what kind of formula and colors I like and stuff, so I definitely think we can get rid of a couple of them. So I guess first one we'll start off with is this one from M Cosmetics. This is in the shade Venetian Rose, which is super pretty. I just do not like the applicator for this. I wish it was like a doe foot instead of like a dropper. I just find that I would reach for it a little bit more. It's just kind of hard to work with. Not the formula necessarily, but just like the whole process of it, so I never want to reach for it. So even though it's really pretty and I like the color, I do think I'm just going to declutter this. Then I have 3 of these Merit Flush Balms over here. I have this one in the shade Cheeky, which I think is probably my favorite out of all of them. That's what this shade looks like. It's a little bit of a more vibrant pink than what I normally go for, but I do think it's fun for that reason. And it's also in their new packaging. This is their old packaging, and I believe the gold is their new packaging. And this one's in Raspberry Beret, not sure if I said that. And then I have this one in the shade Terracotta, which this one is a little bit too fair on me. I find that it doesn't make that big of a difference. So I think what I'm going to do is get rid of the ones in the older packaging and then just keep the one in the newer packaging. Then I have this one here from She Glam. This is in the shade Love Cake, which I think is so pretty. I really love this one. This one got me back into trying out more pinky blushes. Previous to this, I loved using like terracotta, nude, brown kind of colors, but this one is just so pretty and I find that it looks beautiful on me. So definitely going to keep that one. Same thing with this one here from Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Glowgasm Beauty Light Wand in the shade Pinkgasm. This one is so gorgeous. This is like my favorite cream blush ever. I think it just looks so pretty. It has a gorgeous kind of glow to it, and I love the color of it. So definitely going to keep that one. Then I have two here from Tower 28. I have this one in the shade Magic Hour. It's one of their Beach Please cream blushes, and this one's a little bit of a sort of thicker formula. It's not as creamy as some of like these liquid ones, but I mean the shade is just beautiful, so definitely going to keep this one. But I do have this one here in the shade Golden Hour, which I think is just a little bit too orange for me, to be honest. I don't really reach for it, and if I want to use the Tower 28 formula, I always reach for the other one. So even though it's unique and super pretty, I do think I'm just going to go ahead and declutter this. Then I have this one here from Bobbi Brown. This one is in the shade Powder Pink. Really pretty. I absolutely love this one. A little bit similar actually to the one from Tower 28. I do think it's like maybe a little bit darker. If we swatched them next to each other, yeah, a little bit darker, a little bit more nude, and I love this formula. So again, going to keep that one. And then this one I actually just got. It just came in the mail today. I have not even used it yet. It's from Rare Beauty. It's in the shade Hope. I used to have a Rare Beauty one when they first launched. I bought the shade Joy, which I think was way too bright, way too orange. Even if you used one dot, it was still too much. But I think that this shade Hope looks really pretty. It's a little bit pinky nude, kind of in between this pink and this one. I just think it looks really gorgeous, and of course it literally just came in the mail and I just bought it, so I will be keeping this one. So we actually got rid of 4 cream blushes, which I feel like is pretty good. Move my cream blushes off to the side and bring in my powder blushes, which I think is going to be very difficult, but let's see, we'll try and get some done. I guess we could start off. One that I know I'm going to get rid of is this one here from Sophia and Maybelle. It's the Too Pretty highlighter and blush duo, and I did get this in some sort of subscription box again, but this is really pretty. I actually really like the packaging, but the highlighter just looks a little bit too dark, and the blush looks very similar to this one here that I have from Chantecaille. So, and I haven't even touched this one yet, so I think I'm just gonna go ahead and declutter it. And then since I'm talking about it, I do have this one from Chantecaille. This is in the shade Grace. It's the turtle one. And this one, now that my tastes have kind of changed into kind of this more pinky blush, I do think I am going to keep it. I really like it, and I'm glad that I didn't end up decluttering it last time because I was really on the fence, but I think that it's just super soft and pretty now, and I definitely want to reach for it a little bit more, so gonna be keeping that one. Then one of my favorite ones ever is this one from Rare Beauty. This is the Nearly Neutral blush, and this one I put with the powders, even though it's kind of like that cream to powder type of formula. I don't know, it's kind of difficult, but I love the shade of it. It's just perfect. Again, it's that nearly neutral shade. It's kind of pinky, kind of neutral, and I just think it looks super pretty. So definitely going to keep this one. Then I have this one here from Juicy Pang. This one I just got. This is the Apu Juicy Pang Jelly Blusher. Tried this in my Yes Style video. The more I use it, the more I realize I think I got a shade that's just a little bit too light. You can see compared to some of the other ones, it doesn't make that big of an impact, and I just think it's, again, a little bit too light on me. I think that the formula and the finish are really nice. It does have like a little bit of a satiny glow to it, but I just think it's a little bit too light for my skin tone, so I'm going to declutter this. Then one of my all-time favorite blushes ever is this one here from Milani. This is Milani Luminoso. I have the old packaging, but this is so perfect. This is just my ideal blush. It's glowy, it's peachy, it's just perfect. It makes my cheeks look so smooth. I am obsessed with this blush and definitely going to be keeping it. Then I have this one, which I almost forgot, is from Pat McGrath. This is the Skin Fetish Divine blush in the shade Paradise Venus. This is probably my darkest blush, and you definitely don't need a lot of it, but I love the tone, and I think it's so pretty, especially like blended out with a little bit of the Luminoso for a tiny bit of glow, and it looks super gorgeous. So definitely going to be keeping my Pat McGrath. Then some of my other favorites, actually this one is new to me. This is from Benefit. This is a little mini Georgia one. one. They repackaged their blushes, so I believe this is in the old packaging. And I actually can get in there to do a swatch with these nails, but it's just like a peachy nude shade. I've only used this once, so I wouldn't get rid of it anyway, but sorry, I can't do a swatch. Then I have this from MAC. This is in Warm Soul. It's one of their mineralized blushes, and again, another favorite of mine. A little bit light on me, but I do enjoy it, and I do like to use this with other ones, so I'm going to be keeping this one. And I have this from Ciate. This is their Longwear Skin Brightening Blush in the shade Date Night. Really, really pretty. I used to have the full size of this, but it was really old, and I ended up getting another one in Ipsy, which I was super happy to see. But look how pretty that is. It's just a gorgeous formula and looks, again, really, really nice on my cheeks, so gonna be keeping that one. Not doing too well. I guess another one that I know I'm gonna keep is this one from Kimchi. This is the Thaler blush in Vacation. It's a duo blush, but I just mix them together normally, but I'll go ahead and just swatch out both of them so you could see. So we have the lighter side and the darker side, and I mean, look how pigmented these are. It's so good. I love using this one. This was like my go-to over the summer, and I had it in like my Shop My Stash like every single week until I took it out and I'm like, all right, I need to use other blush. But this one, as soon as I work through some of my other blushes, I'm going to definitely be putting this one back into rotation. All right, guys, then we have these two from ColourPop. So I have the Animal Crossing one in Flower Power. I kept this one just for like collectors, but at this point, I'm just only going to keep the little eyeshadow palettes part of like my little collection because I'm just not going to use this. It's like a lavender pink kind of color, and it's just not something I wear. So I'm going to go ahead and finally declutter that one. And then I have this one from the High School Musical collection. This one's in the shade Playoffs, which I don't know if I've even swatched. I'll just do a little one over here. But this one seems kind of similar to the Pat McGrath, even just a little bit brighter and just not really my style. So I'm going to declutter these two. So that was it for blush. We weren't too successful, but I mean, come on, these are all so pretty. I can't get rid of them. On to highlighter. Again, I have quite a lot of highlighter, and I definitely want to get rid of some of them because I don't need this much. I always use the same ones anyway. But before I begin, I also have this palette here from Pat McGrath. This is the Divine Blush and Glow Trio in Galactic Sun, and this one just has like this two blushes and then a highlighter in it, so I'll go ahead and swatch out the highlighter just so you can see. It's got a really pretty kind of golden shift to it, and I am going to be keeping this one. So I have only two cream highlighters, and they're actually both from Merit. I have one in the shade Kava and one in the shade Bounce. So this one is Kava, which is so pretty. It's kind of like a white gold champagne color that I absolutely love. And then I have this one in the shade Bounce, which is more of a rose gold, which I also really like this one. You can see they're both just super glossy and shimmery, and I definitely like both of them, so I'm going to be keeping both of them. Now, let's get on to my powders. So where to begin? I guess we'll keep this Fenty one. This is the How Many Carats Diamond Balm, and this one is just sort of like a glitter in like a clear base. I think that this one's really fun to wear for like special occasions or nights out and stuff like that. It's literally like just glitter, so I'm going to be keeping that one. Then we have this one from Pat McGrath, which is their Skin Fetish Sublime Skin Highlighter in Lunar Nude. And this one's really, really pretty. I don't reach for it all that often. I don't know why. I think maybe it's almost a little bit too like textured looking or a little bit too dark on me, so I don't know. This one is gonna have to be a maybe, so I'm gonna put this one off to the side and we'll decide a little bit later after swatching some more. But next one I have is this one from REM Beauty. This is in Miss Mercury. It's their highlighter topper top coat. All right, I actually didn't even know that was the name, but I really like this one. It feels a little bit thicker, but it actually looks really nice and kind of like silky on the skin, and I love the glow that it gives, so I am going to be keeping this one. I have my new one while we're at it from Rare Beauty. This is the powder highlighter in the shade Exhilarate, which I think is like the second deepest one. There was like a really icy one, and then this kind of pretty golden champagne kind of color, and I absolutely love this. I think it looks really, really pretty, and definitely going to keep this one. This one here from Stila, this is the Heaven's Hue highlighter in Kitten. It's like one of these putty ones, and I don't know, it's really pretty. I got it on Poshmark like for really, really cheap, so I wouldn't feel bad if I got rid of it, and it looks nice. I just feel like now I can get this kind of wet look using the Rare Beauty one or my ones from Merit, so I feel like this one doesn't really have a place in my collection anymore, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and actually declutter the Stila. Then one of my favorite ones is this one here from Kimchi Chic. This is the Thaler Get Glow in Hollywood Glow. Again, it's like a duo, but normally I just mix them together, so I'll just show you what it looks like all mixed together. Really pretty. Has a kind of like white gold type of finish to it, very similar to this one from MAC in Double Gleam. It's their Extra Dimension Skin Finish, which I'm going to be keeping as well. I think that they both just look really pretty, so I'm gonna keep these two. And I think another one I'm going to get rid of actually is this one from She Glam. I really like it. It's their Cosmic Crystal Mousse Highlighter in Moonbeam. And I really liked using this one on my inner corner because of how like bright it was. But now that I see some of my other ones, especially like the Kimchi Chic one, I really like using this one on my inner corner. So I think I would always reach for this one over the She Glam one. So I'm just going to declutter this one. Then another one of my favorites actually is this one here from MAC. And this one is the Soft and Gentle Mineralized Skin Finish. It's really pretty. We'll start swatching on the other side. I love this one. It's kind of like a nude color that has a pretty reflect to it, and I always reach for this one, so I'm definitely going to keep that one. Same thing with the Super Glow. I love this one. It also has that sort of wet look on the skin, and it's just one that I'll always reach for, so I'm definitely going to be keeping that one. Then I have these three. I have this one here from Pixi. This is the Glowy Gossamer Duo in Delicate Dew. Mine's actually broken, and I got quite a bit of use out of both of these, so I think at this point I'm just going to go ahead and declutter this one as well. Another one with broken packaging is this one from Wet n Wild, but I don't know how easily you can buy this one. I think I just love it too much to get rid of it. It's so pretty. I don't know if I said it's in the shade Bloom Time. I always enjoy my look whenever I use this one, so even though this one is broken, I'm willing to keep it, so I'm going to keep that one. Then I have this one from Becca, which I'm kind of sad about. It's in the shade Rose Quartz, and this one I had in my Shop My Stash, but it's just not highlighting like the other ones. I don't know, it just doesn't quite like do it for me. It's not really bright enough. I don't really use this pinky shade all that often, so I think I am actually going to declutter this one. So we actually did pretty well with the highlighters. Now let's go ahead and move on to brow products. Also, I don't think I'm ready to declutter the Pat McGrath, so I am just going to be keeping this one. I went ahead and just pulled my eye products and like single shadows, mascaras, stuff like that, and my brow products. So as far as brows go, I really don't have much, but there are a couple I can get rid of. First ones we'll go through though are my brow pencils. I have the Kosas Brow Pop in the shade Medium Brown, and then I also have the Rowan Vow Brow in the shade Medium. They're both just like skinny tip pencils, and I will be keeping both of those. Then for brow gels, I have 3 brow gels, 2 tinted, 1 clear. So the clear one is the Kosas Air Brow, which I'm going to be keeping. Then I have the Innisfree Skinny Brow Mascara, which is the one that I've been using recently that I just picked up from Yes Style. I really like this one. I have it in the shade number 2 Espresso Brown. I'm going to keep that one. And then I actually have this one here from Merit, which is in the shade Brown. And this one is just all dried up and empty, so I am going to put this one into my empties. And then last one I have here is this one from ColourPop. This is the Feather Effect Brow Pen, and I don't love brow pen like this. This one is also like starting to dry up already, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and put this one in my empties as well. So that was pretty easy to go through. Now let's go ahead and move on to all of this stuff, which I guess we'll just start pulling from. I have like eyeliners maybe we'll go through first. So I think I pulled all of my liners. We'll go through the ones that aren't in boxes first, and maybe we'll do like all of my pencil ones first. So I have this one here from Araceli. It's the Ojos Perfectos in the shade Navy. This one's pretty good. I would prefer if it was brown, but this is just one that, you know, I was sent from Ipsy, so I'm going to take it. Then I have this one from Pixi. This is the Endless Silky Eye Pen in the shade Bronze Beam. And this one I actually do really like. I need to sharpen it so bad though, so it's kind of scratchy, but the color's really pretty and I like that it's brown. Then I have 2 green ones. I have this one from Too Faced. This is the Killer Liner in Killer Camo, which, oh gosh, also needs to be sharpened. So I can't really get a swatch on it, but this is exactly what the shade looks like the end over here. I really like that one. Then I have this one from Urban Decay. This one's in the shade Mildew. It's one of the 24/7 Glide On. And this one I think I can get rid of. I don't really use pencil liner that often, and if I was using a green one, I would just use the Too Faced one. So I'm going to declutter this. So that was it for my pencil liners. Now, I think this is all I have left for my liquid liners. I have a couple here from ColourPop. I have this one in the shade Graceland, which is white. And if they're all good, then I'm still going to keep them. So I'm going to keep that one. Then I have this one in the shade Grande, which is the brown shade. Really like that one. Still looks good. I have the shade Sky High, which is this kind of lighter blue shade, which is still good. And then lastly, we have this one in the shade The Hills, which is a green, and that one also looks good. So we'll keep all of those. Then one of my favorites is this one from Fenty. It's their Fly Liner, and I have it in the shade Big Truffle. Love this one. Oh my gosh, that's probably like one of my favorite ones ever. Definitely keeping all of those. Then I have these ones from the ColourPop and Harry Potter collection. My boyfriend's sister bought the whole collection, and she doesn't really wear eyeliner, so she ended up going ahead and giving me these. But I actually have not swatched them yet, so let's see. So this is the like metallic red, which is kind of cool. I actually don't have a red liner, so maybe I'll keep that one. Let's see what the blue one looks like and see how it compares to the other ColourPop one. So this one looks to be more of like a deep dark blue, which I probably would go for this one over that one. So I think maybe I will declutter this blue one. We have the green. Let's see what this one is looking like. I actually really like the packaging on these. I don't love this kind of brush tip, but I think that's pretty good. Ooh, so that's actually a pretty dark green. I don't know. This one is almost maybe a little bit too dark, so I'm also going to declutter this one as well. And then lastly, we have this yellow one, and we'll see. Oh, so this one is actually more of a gold, which, yeah. I don't think I need this one, so I'm also going to declutter this one as well. So the only one out of all those I'm going to keep is the red one. I also know for a fact that I have a Charlotte Tilbury liquid liner. I don't know where it is though, which is kind of weird, but if I ever find it, if you ever see it again in my collection, just know that I kept it because I really love that one as well. So that was it for liners and brow. Now let me go ahead and pull out the mascaras. All right, so these are all of the mascaras that I have, and normally this would be a normal amount for me, but this is crazy for somebody who hasn't worn mascara in months. Sorry, got cut off there, but I just went ahead and actually pulled my ColourPop shadows. But I was talking about the mascaras, how I haven't even really been wearing mascara because I just use like lashes that I get off Amazon with the Kiss like Mascara system, so I haven't even been wearing mascara really. Aside from like this brown one sometimes on my lower lashes I'll use. This is the Maybelline Sky High in the shade True Brown. And I really like this one. Again, I only have ever used it on my lower lashes, so I'm just going to go ahead and keep that one. And as far as the rest of these open ones go, I haven't worn mascara since April, which was how many months ago? Okay, that was like 8 months ago. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of, this one's actually unopened. I'm going to get rid of all the ones that have been open, even though I do really like all of them. It's kind of a shame that I have to get rid of them. They're just probably not good anymore. So I'm going to declutter these 3. Then as far as these unopened ones go, I actually don't really love a lot of them. Like this one here from Fenty, this is a mini version of their full frontal volume lift and curl mascara. I actually have tried this out before and I didn't really like it. I'm a waterproof mascara girl and it's very rare to find one that's not waterproof that I actually like, so I am going to declutter this one. Same with this one. This is from the brand Ditto. It's the Magic Feather Intense Volume Mascara. I've never tried it and I feel like if it's not waterproof I'm probably not gonna like it. Then I have this one here from Lancome. This is the Serum Infused Volumizing Mascara. And I don't know if this one is waterproof or not. I think if I'm going to keep any of them, I'm probably going to keep maybe these 2 because this one I'm pretty sure is in like a really cool like glass bottle. Yeah, it is. I don't know, it's like really nice. So I kind of want to just keep this one if I'm going to keep any of them. So I'll keep that one, and then this mini, their Real Magnet. I've actually used up a mini one of this before and it was pretty good. So I'll keep that one, and then I'll get rid of this Too Faced one as well. Again, I like it in the waterproof version, but not in the non-waterproof version. So I'm going to declutter these 3 as well. Then I have some eye primers and lash glues. I have this lash adhesive from Lash Couture, which is actually pretty good. Then I have this clear quick one from XO Beauty, which I'll keep. And then I just have 2 eye primers. I have like just this regular ColourPop Party Proof eye primer. Looks like this. It's just kind of like the Urban Decay, like it's like a translucent kind of primer, which I don't really even use eye primer all that often, but I'll keep that anyway. And then I have this one from NYX. It's their glitter primer, which is just kind of like a tacky sort of sticky primer. So I'll keep all of those. Here I have some like liquid shadows, shadow sticks, and then of course my ColourPop ones, which maybe I will bring those a little bit more front and center. So maybe we'll start off with the shadow stick. So I have 2 actually from Bobbi Brown. This one is in the shade Golden Bronze, which is really pretty. I am just not a shadow stick person, so I'm actually going to declutter this one and this one, even though this one's really pretty. This is in the shade Golden Pink, which is really nice for like inner corner type of look, but I think I'm just going to declutter both of them because I keep them every time and I literally never use them. Then I have two liquid shadows. I have this one from the Beauty Crop, which is in the shade Ginger and Prosecco, and these ones are really, really nice. Again, I'm not like the liquid shadow type of person. If anything, I would go for something like this one from HANNAHTAGLIENTE, which I have used a couple times since I bought it, and then some of the ColourPop ones, but even those, like, I need to get rid of like 90% of them. So again, this is pretty, but I'm just gonna declutter. This one I feel inclined to keep every time. It's from Ciate. It's the Eye Luster Cream Shadow in the shade Eclectic. This one always just like swatches really nice, and I feel like oh, I could see myself just doing like a cut crease really easily with this one. And yeah, I'm gonna keep that one actually. Then I have this one from Stila. This is in the shade Smoldering Satin. I think this one might be dried out. Let's see if it is. Okay. So it's actually not. So instead of like throwing it away, like, which I thought I was gonna have to do, I'm gonna declutter this and then see again if any of my friends want it. And then I have this one from HANNAHTAGLIENTE, which I also picked up recently from Yes Style. This is the Spang Glitter in the shade Candy Parts, which is a really, really pretty pink, but it has like, it's kind of sheer with these like golden, it's like iridescent glitters in it, and I love layering this over my eyeshadow. I think it just looks really pretty, so I am actually going to keep that one as well. But as far as the other ones go, I'm going to declutter them. All right, now for my ColourPop ones, I'm probably not going to swatch like all of them, but if there's one like super interesting, maybe I will. First off, we have this one from the Animal Crossing collection. It's in the shade Balloon Pop, one of their ultra glitters. And I actually have a video from a couple of months ago where I went through and ranked all of my ColourPop ones, and this one is very, very pretty. I do think I am going to keep this one. Then I have this one, which is in the shade DGAF, which I actually think I really like this one as well. Yeah, that's really pretty. I could actually see myself using this one, so I'll keep that one. Then I have this one, which, oh my gosh, this is another one that I really like. This is in Moonwalk. It's this kind of like duochrome type of one. I do think it's drying out a little bit, so it may not make it through another declutter, but for now it has survived. So I'm gonna keep Moonwalk. And I know another one I'm gonna keep is in the shade Frog, so let me see if I could find that one. Yeah, here it is. This one is so pretty. It's like this kind of icy, really glittery pink color with like almost like a blue shift to it. It's just really, really cool. So definitely gonna be keeping Frog. Now for the rest of them, this is where it's gonna get pretty cutthroat, I think. This one is in the shade Floating. It's in this like yellowy color. It's kind of like a blue shift to it. We'll swatch this one. Again, really pretty. I just don't think I would ever really reach for it, so I'm gonna go ahead and declutter this one. Then I have this one, which is in the shade Dream Lover, which I actually like this. I think it's really cute. It's like this purple with like a pink and blue iridescence to it, so I actually think I'm going to keep this one. It's very unique, and I feel like I couldn't find that in like any other sort of palette, whereas like the yellow, I think I could definitely find that in like my ColourPop Rainbow palette. Then we have this one, which is in the shade Solitaire. This one just looks very, very basic. I don't even think I need to swatch it, so I'm just gonna go ahead and declutter that one. Then I have this one in Catitude, which again is very basic. I feel like I could find this in any other eyeshadow palette, so we'll get rid of that one. Then we have Good Boy, which is really, really cute. This is from like the little pet collection, but I just don't think I need that one. Then we have Feline Good, which I think is nice. This one is a really pretty taupey bronze, but I'm gonna say it again, I just don't need it in a single form. Same with this one in the shade Lightning Bug. It's pretty. It's more of like a copper, which I don't really have very many of, but I don't know. I don't need it. It's not really standing out to me, and I don't think I would reach for it over any of the other ones. Same with this one, Set to Stun. If I'm gonna reach for like a purpley type of one, I'm probably just gonna go for this one, so I'm gonna get rid of the Set to Stun. And then last one we have is in the shade Ice Dream, which is like that white with a blue iridescent flip to it. So let me swatch this out. This one's getting a little bit flaky, so I don't really know how well it's gonna hold up, but it has like a sheer base, but this really pretty bluish kind of flip, so I will keep that one. Look at all of these. They're really pretty, and I definitely think my friends would like them because they definitely wear more kind of like neutral eye makeup, and I think that these are super, super pretty. So I will declutter all of these. And now that I don't have as much stuff, should I put my ColourPop ones in here, you think? Yeah, that definitely fits pretty well. So I have all these over here. Got my 2 mascaras and my ColourPop one. So now I can kind of actually see everything when I open up my drawer. Now we have my little lip product section over here, which this got so crazy. I like don't know what happened. I have even more lip products off to the side, which I'm really quickly, I'm not even going to swatch them, just go through the ones that I have in my drawer, and then we'll go through my overstock ones like a little bit more in detail. You know what? I decided that I like when I see people swatch stuff, so I will actually swatch everything for you guys. But we have to keep it quick, and I'm not going to go super in depth. So first one we have here is from Pat McGrath. This is the Flesh 3 Sheer Color Balm. I don't love the formula of these. They break very easily, so I do think I'm going to declutter this. Another one from this collection is kind of like a more nude shade. I'm also going to declutter. Then I have my little Charlotte Tilbury lipstick. This one is in the shade Pillow Talk Medium. This is my favorite shade ever. I'm definitely going to keep this. This is also fairly new to my collection, this one in particular, so I'm going to keep that. Then I have my Romand water tint in the shade Rose Splash. This one's really pretty, and I'm going to be keeping this one. Then I have a Pat McGrath Ultra Lip Pencil in the shade Starstruck. This one's a little bit too soft for my liking, and it breaks very easily, so I'm just going to go ahead and declutter it. Then I have 2 glosses here from Queen Cosmetics. I have this black one in the shade Black Widow, which I think I'm going to declutter this one because it's just not one that I would really reach for all that often. But I will be keeping the one in the shade Wanderlust because this is like a really pretty holographic topper that I think could be fun. It's like a multi-chrome. Then I have my Charlotte Tilbury lip liner in the Pillow Talk Medium 2. I believe I have another one of these. Like, yeah, I have a mini. So this is a full-size one that I used, and then I also have the mini one, so I'm going to keep both of those. Then I have this from Pat McGrath. This is in the shade Flesh 6. It's one of their mini Lust glosses, which I absolutely love. This is so pretty. Definitely going to be keeping this one. And I have this little Pat McGrath lipstick in the shade Beautiful Stranger. It's their matte trance lipstick. I love the color of it, but I'm not a big matte lipstick person, so I'm gonna just declutter it. Then this one I absolutely love. This is from Trixie Cosmetics. It's the lip gloss in the shade Scarlet Letter. I have been using this one like every single day. I think it's super pretty, and it's, even though it looks really bright and red in here, it just gives a really pretty wash to the lips, so I'm gonna keep this one. Then I have 2 Merit lipsticks. I'll just grab both of them out. I have this one in the shade Millennial, which is more of like a baby pink kind of color. Not one that I typically go for, but it is a little bit different than some of my other ones, so I'm going to keep that. And then I also have this one in the shade La Avenue, which I love. This one's really pretty, and I love wearing it kind of sheer. It's like that Clinique Black Honey, almost lipstick type of color, so I will keep both of those. And speaking of Clinique Black Honey almost lipstick, I have the Star itself. This is my everyday lip color. I absolutely love it. It's just so perfect. I love the effect that it gives, and definitely going to be keeping that. And I have this one here from Kimchi Chic and Trixie Mattel. This one is in the shade Gingerbread. It's one of their lipsticks. I think the packaging is really cool. Again, it's a matte lipstick, so it's not one that I typically go for, but I mean, it's Trixie and Kimchi, so I gotta keep it. And I have this little Kylie Sweater Weather lip liner, and oh my gosh, it's coming out. Okay, so I actually really love the color. I think it's very similar to the Charlotte Tilbury one. Even though it's kind of breaking, I think I'm still gonna keep it because it's pretty new to my collection. And I also have the matching liquid lipstick as well, which I don't really wear liquid lipsticks, but I don't know, it could be good to have like in a pinch if I ever needed one, so I'm just gonna keep it. And I have this from Tower 28. This one is in the shade Pistachio. I actually have quite a few Tower 28 glosses, and we'll just do little swatches of them. This one still smells good. It's starting to smell a little bit expired, I think, so it probably won't survive the next time, so we'll leave that on the side for now. And I'll pull my other ones that I have from them. So I have these ones here. This one is in the shade Coconut, which is like the oldest one that I have, so I don't know if this one is still going to be good. It's also a little bit bright for my liking. I would prefer Pistachio if I'm going with a pink one, so I think I'm just going to declutter this one. It is still good though. Then I have this one in the shade Cashew, which is kind of more of a nude, which again is very unique to my collection, and I don't really have anything like it, so I think I am going to be keeping this one. And lastly, I have this one in the shade Fire, which this one and the last one did still smell good as well, and I also really like this one. It's kind of, again, a very unique color to my collection, so I'll be keeping all 3 of these and decluttering one. Then I have this from M Cosmetics. This is the lip cushion in the shade Venetian Rose, which I love this. I think it's super pretty. It's like the better version of the Tarte ones, I think. They're a little bit more pigmented, a little bit more like a lipstick, but I think that they're really pretty. Definitely gonna hold on to that one. And then this one is like my little baby. This is my Charlotte Tilbury lipstick in the shade Glowing Jen. I am obsessed. I think that it looks so pretty. I love the color, love the formula, and this is like my everyday lipstick now. Now, moving on to the rest of this stuff, I have this one here from Fenty. Not sure which shade it's in. Oh, it's in the shade Undefeated. And this is kind of like a purple. I got this in like a little Fenty set, which, whoa, that is dark, but I don't think I'm ever going to use it. It is really, really pretty though. But yeah, I'm going to declutter this. Then I have a couple of little Fenty gloss bombs. So I have this bright pink one, which is in the shade Bubble Binge. And we'll see if it's super pigmented. I probably won't keep it. Yeah, that's a little bit bright for me, so I'm going to declutter. And then I have this one in the shade Cupcakin, which I actually thought this was like the Fenty Glow one, but I guess it's not. I really like that actually. I'm going to be keeping this one. I have this one from KVZ. Actually, it has the old Kat Von D packaging, but this is the Vinyl Lip Cream in the shade Lolita. And I really like this one. Such a classic color, and I actually think that this is super pretty on me, so I love this color. Then I had this from Tarte, the Maracuja Juicy Lip Plum. If you watched one of my last Shop My Stash videos, mine is broken and will not click up anymore, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter that. Then I have this ColourPop Just a Tint High School Musical one. This is in the shade Cello. It's kind of like a red tint, but I'm going to do this sort of like soft red tint. I'm just going to go for the Trixie lip gloss, so I'm going to declutter that. Then I have this lip balm from Lanolips. This is the 101 Ointment in Strawberry. I actually really like this one. I'm going to pull this out actually to put in my car. So I'm going to be keeping this one. It's just not going to go back into my collection. Then I have this Jelly Wow lip oil from She Glam, and I like this one. It's just not as good as some of like my other lip oil and lip gloss type products, so I'm going to declutter that. Then I have this from Urban Decay. This is in the shade Back Talk. It's one of their matte lip products, and it's just not a color I really wear. Even though the formula feels really, really nice, I'm just going to declutter that one as well. Then I have another Just a Tint from that High School Musical collection. This one is in the shade Status Quo. It's more of a nude color. Yeah, not really something I would go for. Gonna declutter that. Then I have this Glossier Wild Fig Balm.com, and this one I think is too old. Yeah, it says 18 months, and I've definitely had it for longer than that, so I'm just gonna go ahead and declutter it. I have a couple more of these little Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks. So I have this one in the shade Very Victoria, which I really, really like, and I'm gonna keep that one. Same thing for Pillow Talk, which is this one, just a little bit more pink than Very Victoria. I think Very Victoria is a tiny bit more nude and a little bit softer. And then I have Walk of No Shame, which is kind of more of a darker reddish kind of color. And if I'm going to go for a darker color from Charlotte Tilbury, I'm going to use my Glowing Gen lipstick, so I'm going to declutter this one and keep these two. Then I have this from NYX. This is the This Is Juice Gloss in the shade Pomegranate Cloud. I do really like this one. It does have a super, super sweet scent that I kind of got sick of after using it for a while, so I'm going to declutter that. Then I have another Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip. This one is in clear, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, so this one does still work and pump up, so I will be keeping this one. I do really like the original formula. I feel like the plumping one is not my favorite, but I like the original ones a lot. Then I have two lip oils from Merit. I have this one in the shade Bel Air, which is like the regular kind of clear with a little bit of gold to it. It's just not something I really, really need, so I'm going to actually declutter this one. But I love this one in Sangria, so I will be keeping this one. It's really pretty and works well with the La Avenue lipstick that they have. I have another little mini Clinique Black Honey Almost lipstick, and I already swatched this before, so I won't swatch it again, but I will definitely be keeping this one. Then I have this from Lancome. This is in the shade 274, and really, really pretty. It's a little bit peachy for what I like nowadays, so I do think I'm actually gonna declutter this. Then I have this Fenty lipstick. This is like a reusable container, but the lipstick I have in it right now is 06 Scholar Sista, which I actually do really like this one, so I'm going to hold on to it. Then I have this from ColourPop. It's a lippy stick in the shade Poison, and I don't really have any reds. I think this might be like my only red. It's a pretty dark one at that, but yeah, I'm going to actually keep this one. Then I have this one here from Rowan. This is in the shade Charlie. It's one of their liquid lip balms. It's kind of minty smelling, so like not my absolute favorite, but the color and like the effect kind of makes up for it, so I will be keeping that. Then I have this Lala lip pencil from Mented, and I actually really like this one. It's similar to the Charlotte Tilbury, a little bit bit more nude, a little bit darker, but I do really like it, and I definitely do reach for this one, so I'll hold on to that. Then I have this from SheGlam. This is in the shade Memories. It's their Take a Hint lip tint, which looks kind of weird, but if you do let it sit, it does actually tint your lips and stain them to a pretty nice, like, dark pinky sort of color, so we'll let that sit and then wipe it off so you can see. But I do think I am going to get rid of it just because I don't really use lip tints like that, and if I'm going to use one, I'm probably just going to use my one from Romand. So I'm going to declutter the SheGlam one. And then last but not least, we have this little mini Too Faced Lip Injection Extreme, which I don't use very often, but it is good to have in a pinch when you do want that effect, so I will be keeping that one. So that is looking like a lot less lip products now. All right, so that was it for the declutter for today's video, but while we are still on sort of the vibe of lips, I am going to announce what I'm going to be giving away in today's video. If you guys didn't know, I'm doing a giveaway every single video until the end of the month of December, and for today's video, I'm going to be giving away this NYX Butter Gloss Lip Trio. So if you guys are wondering on how to enter, all of the information will be in the description box down below. But that's it for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys!